Week 5 of college football gave us 5 ranked versus ranked showdowns. The most in a single week since 2017. So we knew that there were going to be 5 ranked teams that went down. That was guaranteed. But we did not know that there were going to be 5 more top 25 teams that were going to lose to unranked opponents. The 7th, 10th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 20th, 21st, 23rd, and 24th ranked teams all went down this last weekend for a total of 10 top 25 teams that lost. Guys, this is why we play the game. This is why we say any given Saturday. This is why we love the sport of college football. And this is why this season, 2022, is again one of the most unpredictable, most exciting, and most fun seasons we've had in a long, long time. And so guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Experts. We are here to break down some of the biggest moments and some of those biggest upsets that we just mentioned from week 5 of this college football season. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks, guys, over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Just look at these numbers over here. 27-9 on the money line, 75%. Our yearly total, 205-44, 82.3% on the money line this year. You're going to get those picks over on our expert picks at thegridironexpert.com. Find someone else that's hitting over 80% on the money line. You're not. Find someone else over a month into the season is hitting over 60% of their spread picks this year. We went with 5-5 in week 5. Not the best mark. Not the best mark in the world. Breaking even. But 32-21 on the year. 60.4% through 5 weeks. Some of the best marks, numbers, percentages in the country for one of the lowest prices in the country. We had another successful week here on the Gridiron Expert. We've beat out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 4 years. We want you to join our team. Check out our picks over on our website today and become a part of the GE Nation. So guys, you know, we got to find out where to start. I mean, so many big-time upsets. Let's go ahead and just start all the way back. Let's go all the way back to Friday, all right? UCLA, a little Pac-12 after dark action, right? UCLA stunning number 15 Washington, 40-32, Friday night at the Rose Bowl. Again, that was a battle between 2 Pac-12 unbeatens. One was a top 15 team. The other in UCLA was unranked. But UCLA, guys, got the win. Their first win against a top 15 opponent since 2014. And the Bruins, guys, dominated this game. You know, Washington started strong, UCLA settled in, and they were beating the Huskies 40-16 entering the fourth quarter. And then Washington started to battle back. Cut it to 8 points with just 4 minutes left in the game. But then Chip Kelly and his offense, they were able to run out the clock. They were a little bit gutsy, throwing the ball on third down, could have continued to run and give Washington the ball back with a limited amount of time. He said, no, we're going for the win. UCLA threw the ball, completed it right past the sticks, got the first down, ran out the rest of the clock to secure that 8-point victory. Again, a great quarterback battle between Michael Penix of Washington and Dorian Thompson-Robinson of UCLA, but it was DTR that outdueled Penix. 315 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. The Bruins had 184 rushing yards, and now UCLA will definitely be ranked and is setting up another huge, unbeaten, ranked versus ranked Pac-12 showdown on Saturday as they host Utah. What a game on Friday night. What a way to kick off week 5, and that ushered us into an unbelievable Saturday, guys, starting all the way in Oxford as number 14 Ole Miss took down number 7 Kentucky 22-19. What was the key in this game? If you watched this game, what stood out the most to you? For us, it was the Ole Miss defense and the Kentucky special teams. That was the difference on Saturday morning in Oxford. Listen to these numbers, guys. First off, Kentucky committed a turnover on their final 3 drives. Turnovers on their final 3 drives in a 3-point game. Kentucky special teams, they missed 2 extra points and they missed a field goal in a 3-point loss. So that's 5 points out there on the field in a 3-point loss. They also allowed a safety, gifted Ole Miss 2 points. They had a turnover on downs at the Ole Miss 32-yard line to start the fourth quarter. They fumbled at the Ole Miss 19-yard line with 2:55 left in the game. And then they had a strip sack fumble with 51 seconds left on the Ole Miss 12. multiple opportunities for Kentucky to at least tie the game, maybe even take the lead, and they were unable to capitalize. So it's a gut-wrenching loss for Mark Stoops and the Wildcats, but give credit to Lane Kiffin and his defense. They bent a little bit, but they didn't break. They did not break. They came through in the clutch when needed. Ole Miss, guys, is 5-0, could find themselves in the top 10, and easily could be 7-0 here in a few weeks before the back half of their schedule gets really difficult as they have games against LSU, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas. How Ole Miss fares in those 4 games could determine if the Rebels really are for real, should be taken seriously as an SEC title contender, or if they benefited from a very favorable first half of their schedule. Regardless, though, a top 10 victory to start off October, and they did it behind the strength of their defense. How about moving over to the Big 12? We've done Pac-12, done SEC, Big 12. This wasn't even a game we thought we'd talk about here, but here we are. TCU. Stunning number 18 Oklahoma, 55-24. And let me tell you this, before anybody comments it, says it, tweets it, whatever. Losing Dylan Gabriel for Oklahoma was a huge loss. And we hope he's okay. We hope he's able to bounce back. But losing Dylan Gabriel was not the reason Oklahoma lost this game. Not a chance. The Sooners did not show up whatsoever, and they were so hungover from that loss against Kansas State last week. I mean, TCU, guys, was beating the Sooners 27-10 after the first quarter. They were beating them 41-17 at halftime. The Horned Frogs, 668 yards of offense, including 361 rushing yards against this Brent Venables defense. I mean, guys, this was an embarrassing performance from the Sooners, and an unexpected one, too. The Sooners typically bounce back from losses that they suffered against Kansas State. They were no match for this TCU team that is kind of surprised in year one under Sonny Dykes. And now the Horned Frogs are a legitimate contender in the Big 12. Oklahoma is out, most likely, of the Big 12 title contention, now with 2 conference losses. Now we got to talk about TCU. We got to talk about Oklahoma State. We got to talk about Kansas, who, as a matter of fact, hosts this TCU team on Saturday, now the site of College Game Day, a battle between what should be 2 ranked teams, a battle of unbeatens, a battle between 2 Big 12 title contenders. And if you had said that TCU and Kansas were going to be both undefeated heading into Week 6, both ranked and both in Big 12 title contention, I would have laughed at you. Completely honest here. I would have laughed at you. But what a turnaround for TCU. What a turnaround for Kansas. We're in for a good one on Saturday. But credit to the Horned Frogs for sticking it to Brent Venables and the Sooners. Want to give a brief touch on Purdue. The Boilermakers upsetting number 21 Minnesota. Minnesota no longer unbeaten. Another ranked team goes down. Creates more chaos in the Big Ten West. Minnesota looked like the best team in that division. Hosted a Purdue team that barely escaped Florida Atlantic last week. Yes, we know, without Aiden O'Connell. But still fell by 10 to the Boilermakers. Again, that division wide open. You know, Wisconsin fell to Illinois. Illinois looking pretty good. Minnesota's still solid, but fell at home to Purdue. Purdue's a contender. Northwestern's a contender. Everybody's a contender in the Big Ten West. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. And it's a division race that could come down to the very final week, thanks to the chaos that Purdue just created on Saturday at Minnesota. All right, another big ranked versus ranked matchup. The biggest storyline here was not the win, it was the injury. Number 2, Alabama destroyed number 20, Arkansas, 49-26, but lost Bryce Young in the process. For how long? We do not know. Most likely will be back next week against Texas A&M, but he injured his shoulder in the victory over the Razorbacks, but it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter for Alabama. You know, look at this game, guys. Alabama was up 28-0. Late in the second quarter, 28-0. But then Arkansas battled back. It's just 28-23 entering the fourth quarter. The Hogs chipped away, had a brilliant onside kick that they recovered. Only got a field goal out of it, but a brilliant onside kick. The defense started stiffening up. 28-23 entering the fourth, and then the Hogs do what they do best, and they caved, and they gave up, and they could not make the plays when they needed to the most. Arkansas down just 28-23 early in the fourth, had a 3rd and 15. They had Alabama backed up deep in their own territory, 3rd and 15. 3rd and 15, and allowed a 77-yard rush to the backup quarterback in Jalen Milroe. 3rd and 15, down 5, all the momentum on their side, allowed a 77-yard rush to the backup quarterback. Alabama got up 12, and Arkansas completely gave up. Completely gave up. Look at the Razorbacks, guys. They allowed 75 rushing yards to Alabama through 3 quarters. They allowed 229 rushing yards to Alabama in the 4th quarter alone. 75 through 3 quarters. In the 4th quarter, the Razorbacks had no answer, gave up 229. 77-yard rush to Milroe, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, who had been pretty quiet all year long, busted out runs of 72 yards and 76 yards, both touchdowns, to pull away for Alabama. The Hogs getting up 555 yards of offense. Razorbacks only putting up 377 of their own. And we said, if you want to beat Alabama, you've got to throw the ball. The Hogs did not do that. So Razorback fans very upset, frustrated with Kendall Briles and the play calling. Arkansas ran the ball 51 times in the game, only attempted 34 passes for 190 yards and completed just 17 of them. So Bryce Young gets hurt. It doesn't matter. Hopefully he will be healthy. Good to go next week against Texas A&M. Arkansas battled back, tried to make it more respectable. Could not get the stops. Could not come through clutch when they needed to. And the Razorback season officially is over. How about the Big 12 again? Another Big 12, big rank versus rank showdown. Number 9, Oklahoma State. Number 16, Baylor. The Cowboys getting their revenge over the Bears. You know, we said this was a rematch of the Big 12 championship from last year. And this game was so important for both teams to turn to the Big 12 title hunt. Baylor now out of the playoff race with 2 losses. Oklahoma State kind of proving themselves as the number 1 team in the conference right now with that 36-25 victory on the road. Now you look at this game and you realize, hey, it was only an 8-point game heading into the 4th quarter. Oklahoma State up 33-25. But Baylor, they kind of kicked themselves. Similar to that Kentucky game we just mentioned, Baylor didn't beat themselves necessarily. They didn't do themselves any favor. They gave up a safety as well, so gave Oklahoma State 2 points. They allowed the Cowboys to return the opening kickoff in the second half. So right there, a quick 9 points that quickly benefited the Cowboys in an 11-point victory. The Bears committed 2 turnovers and allowed Spencer Sanders to not only throw for 181 yards and a touchdown, but also lead the team in rushing with 75 yards and another rushing touchdown. So Spencer Sanders, a great bounce-back game. Threw 4 interceptions last year in that Big 12 title game. Now came on the road to Waco, only threw 1 pick, and did extremely well across the board. This is the Baylor team, guys, that still has a lot of talent. Still threw for 345 yards against Oklahoma State, but the defense did not have any answers, and obviously special teams was a bit of a concern as well. So Oklahoma State, big 11-point victory on the road, proving they are legitimately a top 10 team and should be taken seriously again as a college football playoff contender, passing one of their toughest tests of the year, and again, doing it on the road. Only 3 more games here, guys. Quick rank versus rank matchup in the ACC, hitting all the conferences. Wake Forest, Florida State, number 22 and number 23, the Demon Deacons, getting their win over the Seminoles. Kind of an unexpected victory there, guys. But give credit to Dave Clawson and Sam Hartman. Brilliant game plan, coming out strong. A Florida State team that was amped, hyped, 4-0, ranked for the first time since 2018. Wake Forest shut that down real quick. Demon Deacons were up 28-7 at one point, only led by 7 in the 4th quarter, just 28-21. But the ultimate difference maker here, guys, was the one Florida State turnover in the 2nd quarter that obviously converted into Wake Forest points, and then obviously the Seminoles failing a 2-point conversion also in the 2nd quarter. You look at that, had they converted that, it would have been 31-23 with about 2 minutes left, and the Seminoles would have had a chance to go down there and tie it. Chance to go get the touchdown 2-point conversion to tie it. So the turnover and the failed 2-point conversion, big plays in this game that people aren't talking about. But credit to Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons. 234 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, played a very clean game. And credit to them for bouncing back after such a heartbreaking loss to Clemson the week before. Speaking of Clemson, how about that matchup over in the ACC? Top 10 showdown. Tigers and number 10 NC State Wolfpack. A lot of people were picking NC State to pull off this upset here. A lot of people were expecting it. They fell short. This game, guys, was 20-13 entering the 4th quarter in favor of the Tigers, but then Clemson scored a quick 10 points to pull away. DJ Uiagalelei did a phenomenal job again. He's got his swagger back. He's playing some good ball. 209 passing yards and a touchdown. Had 73 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Really the dagger late in the 4th quarter to really put Clemson out of reach over the Wolfpack. They held the defense for Clemson, held NC State to 34 rushing yards on the day, made their offense one-dimensional. Again, this defense looked great. The offense is finally clicking. People have been criticizing Clemson all year long, and the Tigers have now defeated their 2 toughest opponents in the ACC Atlantic and look really on a clear path to win that division and maybe make the college football playoff after missing out last year. Again, they have a long ways to go, but winning their 2 games on the road at Wake Forest, at home against NC State, 2 quality victories, and doing it in impressive fashions behind a great game behind their quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei. Give them credit, guys. Give them credit and start paying attention to Clemson again. Big time win over the Wolfpack. Great job by Dabo Swinney and the Tigers. And the last game we want to talk about briefly, Georgia. What are you doing? Georgia, guys, survived Missouri 26-22, but not looking like the number 1 team in the country. And we can promise you that when we put out our new set of rankings, Georgia will not be our number 1 team in the country. Guys, the Bulldogs did not score their first touchdown against a lowly Missouri team until there was 9:39 left in the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs did not take their first lead in the game until there were 4:03 left in the entire game. Georgia was outplayed. They were outcoached, and they were very lucky to come back and win this game against the Tigers. They outgained them 481-294, but they committed 2 turnovers and continuously stalled as they neared the red zone, settling for 4 field goals instead of touchdowns. A week before, against Kent State, they allowed 22 points to the Golden Flashes in a 17-point victory. Didn't look great there. We thought Kirby Smart would have his team ready to go, ready to bounce back and to make a statement on the road against an SEC opponent, and Georgia failed to do that. Georgia is vulnerable. And this was a very concerning victory. Yes, a win is a win, and Georgia's still a dang good football team, but they nearly lost to one of the worst teams in the SEC. Credit to Missouri for taking them down to the wire. Credit for them for battling to the end and having a phenomenal game plan. Georgia escapes, but there are a lot of questions at the top of the rankings right now, and we could be in for a very interesting finish as the year goes on. So guys, there you have it. That was a long video, a lot to cover. I mean, again, one of the wildest and biggest weekends of college football we've had in a long, long time. Again, the most ranked versus ranked matchups that we've had in a single weekend since 2017. So one of the biggest weekends of college football we've had since 2017. So we had a lot to cover. 10 top 25 teams go down. We're going to have a lot of shakeups in our rankings. Don't miss out on our new GE top 25 rankings coming out very, very soon. Take a look at that. Get ready for that. Make sure to take a look at these expert picks and get ready, guys, for what should be another exciting, big, and obviously unpredictable Week 6. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Again, these are our numbers, and they're only getting better. They've beat out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 4 years, and if you want to win some money and become an expert yourself and become a part of our GE Nation, we want you to go sign up today. Take advantage of these picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.